after Governor Evers says the 2025 NFL Draft of the Year, the winner is our kids and our future, and that apparently triggered MAGA Republican Congressmember Derek Van Orden, who called him a turd and said, "Ho many kids." It's how.
Have you ready to go? Ready to go? Ready to go? Don't marginalize my life and what I've done. Don't do that. Don't marginalize people. Don't do that. Don't marginalize theirs.
Did Trump just create the biggest Republican disaster since, well, the last Republican disaster? His former buddy, Anthony Scaramucci, says Republicans might actually dump Trump before the 2026 midterms if the economy tanks. I mean, can you imagine? The party that bent over backwards defending his every tweet, suddenly pretending they never knew the guy. It would be like that scene in every mob movie where nobody remembers the boss once he's in handcuffs. Stick around to see how Trump might actually be destroying the GOP's future from the inside out. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So did you click the subscribe button? Great, thank you so much. Now back to the video. Remember when the Republican Party was the stable, buttoned-up organization of fiscal conservatives? Well, those days are long gone, folks. The RNC is now facing its worst financial crisis in a decade. With fundraising numbers so low, they might need to start a GoFundMe just to keep the lights on. But the real kicker, instead of addressing this money problem like responsible adults, they've handed the keys to the whole operation over to the Trump family. Talk about putting the fox in charge of the hen house. Or in this case, the bankrupt casino owner in charge of the bank. Lara Trump, who somehow went from wedding planner to RNC co-chair faster than you can say nepotism, has made the party's priorities crystal clear. According to her, every single penny will go to the number one and the only job of the RNC. That is electing Donald J. Trump as president, not supporting down-ballot candidates, not building party infrastructure, not preparing for future elections.
Good morning to everyone except men who wear Daisy Dukes. Hey Nancy, I know you're all about this performative, like bullying and punching down to marginalized communities.
We have to agree on certain things.
Going back to MAGA Republican Congresswoman Nancy Mace for a second. So this is what they're doing. If you want to get booked on Sean Hannity right now, state regime media, cuddling up to Vladimir Putin, lying about everything, prices are up again. So Nancy Mace
just getting daddy-in-law back to the White House. It's less a political party these days and more like a family business with really bad accounting practices. This laser focus on Trump, and only Trump, has set off alarm bells with Republican donors faster than a 5-alarm fire at Mar-a-Lago. These big money folks aren't exactly thrilled about their cash potentially going toward Trump's ever-growing stack of legal bills instead of, actually winning elections. When your political strategy boils down to pay my lawyer bills first, worry about governing later, you might have a problem bigger than a twice-impeached former president's ego. And that's saying something, but the financial mess is just the appetizer in this buffet of Republican disasters. The main course? Trump's spectacular talent for sabotaging his own party's chances at power. Senate Republicans are watching their 2026 midterm chances circle the drain faster than Trump's flush on his 15th bathroom visit of the day. These folks are quietly freaking out, and for good reason. The history books don't lie. Trump managed the impressive feat of losing the House, Senate, and White House during his tenure. That's the political equivalent of striking out while playing t-ball. Even Anthony Scaramucci, yes, that guy who had a White House career shorter than most people's lunch breaks, is predicting a Republican mutiny if economic trouble hits.
After Governor Evers says the 2025 NFL Draft of the Year, the winner is our kids and our future, and that apparently triggered MAGA Republican Congressmember Derek Van Orden, who called him a turd and said, "Ho many kids." It's how. Or MAGA Republican Congressmember Derek Van Orden trying to mock Democratic Governor Tony Evers by saying, "Great job, turd. Ho many kids in Milwaukee can read."
I don't agree. What the Doge is doing is they're examining the records. They're provided their findings. Congress has to weigh in on those.
They're firing people!
This works. If you're just upset.
There's no House Republican that's going to go into 26 and say, hey, we're in a steep recession as a result of Smoot-Hawley redo in 2025. And we're with Donald Trump, Scaramucci explained. When the mooch sounds like the voice of reason, you know the GOP has entered the political twilight zone. Trump's habit of throwing wrenches into the government machinery isn't winning him any friends in Congress either. Last December, he managed to torpedo a bipartisan government funding plan faster than you can say shutdown. Republican lawmakers were just about to wrap things up and head home for the holidays when Trump decided to play the political equivalent of the Grinch, jumping into the debate with new demands that sent everything spiraling. Nothing says stable leadership like waiting until the last minute to blow up months of negotiations because you felt left out of the conversation. Behind closed doors, top Republicans are fuming hotter than Trump after someone serves him Diet Coke at room temperature. They're privately blaming him for what should have been easy Senate wins in Georgia, pointing to how he turned off suburban voters and undermined faith in elections. But publicly, they're still doing their best impersonation of loyal subjects bowing to King Donald, afraid that one mean tweet might end their careers faster than you can say primary challenge.
Jones is headed for the worst April since the Great Depression, but the MAGA Republicans will continue to post away like Nancy May saying, "You bark, I bite."
Are you ready to go? Ready to go? Ready to go? Don't marginalize my life and what I've done. Don't do that. Don't marginalize Don't do that. Don't marginalize this. Do you know how many black men in America stand?
And here you'll see the crowd erupting at this town hall where he starts to talk about Doge and how great Doge is, and people start just leaving. They're like, this is a bunch of nonsense. You go and you do things like this because, let's face it, the MAGA Republicans want to talk about anything other than the fact that Donald Trump is destroying our alliances, crashing our economy.
The pattern is becoming painfully obvious, even to the most die-hard MAGA hat wearers. Each of the past 5 times a president went into midterms with unified control of Congress, voters took it away faster than parents confiscating an Xbox from a kid with failing grades. And with Trump's particular talent for alienating key voting blocs, suburban women, independents, anyone with a functioning frontal lobe, Republicans are staring down the barrel of yet another potentially historic loss. What's particularly remarkable about this whole situation is the complete transformation of a once proud political party. The GOP has gone from the party of Reagan's optimism to the party of Trump's perpetual grievances. From fiscal conservatism to whatever Trump wants-ism, from a big tent to a personality cult where the only qualification for leadership seems to be having the last name Trump or being willing to publicly praise him with the enthusiasm of a North Korean news anchor discussing Kim Jong-un. And so we witness what Michael Steele, the former RNC chair, calls the implosion of a once proud political institution. It's fascinating how Trump has managed to transform Republicans from free trade champions to cheerleaders for reckless spending. The party's experiencing a full-on identity crisis, and when Republicans eventually pretend they never backed Trump, remember how they rationalized supporting him even after January 6th. As Scaramucci colorfully puts it, the MAGA party is basically the new Whig party, just using the Republican name as a costume. The GOP faces a stark choice: continue down Trump's path toward potential extinction or attempt a rebirth. Either way, you might need a neck brace to keep up with the head-spinning changes in American politics.